Hello guys, Fik97 here again, and again with the Kisame Hoshigaki video, because this one in the English version I was not so happy with, so I did another one. It will be shorter, I guess, but it will be the same topic, just trying to make it better as it was. And yeah, now we start with this. And after the Kisame video, from the videos with content there like it will, the next videos will be about Fantastic Beasts movies and Harry Potter world, where to put it, where is it in the timeline, in the correct timeline. Yeah, we find out it in these videos, just that And let's start with the Kisame Hoshigaki video, a character from Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. So yeah, let's start. So Kisame Hoshigaki, we see here a few pictures. It's like it was before again. I will speak about it, and you see here a window with my face. And when I'm finished, you see the same presentations without me again. Because I will sometimes my face will hide some pictures who are in the presentation, and so yeah, just to say that briefly. And yeah, let's start. So Kisame Hoshigaki, also called the Tailless Jinchuriki because of his massive chakra reserves. He's very muscular. He's a master in water jutsus, water in the Japanese, or how it is called in the terminal language. You can say it's Zuton. Zuton stands for water. So he's the master in Zuton jutsus, and many jutsus of his are shark shaped, but not all of them. Originally, he's from Kirigakure. One of the 7 sword warriors, 7 shinobi sword warriors from Kirigakure. One of the 7 shinobi sword warriors. And they are very special shinobi, and everybody of them has a sword, and they are not just normal swords, they are, special swords. And he used the powerfulest sword of the 7, the Samihara, and that means something like shark skin. And he can fusionate with his sword. You see it, there are some pictures. On the top you see Kisame, how he looks like when he was in Kiri and before he had Samihara. And on the right side at the bottom you see him, how we see mostly in the story, with his Akatsuki suit and his sword Samihara, and in his normal form. The both pictures on the right side, and on the left side you see how he looks like when, on the left picture you see him in a normal state and underwater, and with you see in the background shark-shaped water jutsus from him, so water sharks who attacks the enemy for him, for example. And then on the left side, the right picture, and on the left picture you see how he can fusionate with his sword. He's hidden in the sword and partly fusionated with it on the right picture of these two left pictures. And on the left one above you see how he looks like when he's totally fusionates with his sword. His lower body, it stays the same, just he gets a tail. A tail is coming out of his butt, or I think it's his butt. And then his upper body most likely changed, and if this change he can he can move faster in water. He can He can breathe underwater, he can attack underwater better, and absorb chakra like Samihata used to do it. And speaking about Samihata, let's talk about his sword Samihata. So Samihata, also shark skin, also called shark skin. The Samihata does not cut like a normal sword, it saws more. And you understand it if you see it like on the picture at the top and in the middle here, where you see Samihata, how it looks like when it's not, how do you say, when it's not bandaged, when it's out of bandages. Yeah. And Samihata absorbs chakra, it's alive, it's a being, and it eats chakra. It kind of lives through chakra. And it absorbs chakra even when not cuts the enemy, but when it cuts the enemy, it absorbs even more and weakens the enemy. Samihata can attack with its thorns or spines. You see them here on the right side in the middle, the picture where you see the whole sword, the whole being, creature, and it can move and extend itself. It's an independently thinking being. It has its own feelings. It can fusionate with Kisame, like we saw it in the presentation before. And the user of Samihata are in order Fuguki, Zuikazan, then Kisame Hoshigaki, and then Killer Bee. And here at the button on the right side we see two pictures, and the left picture is Kisame speaking to Fuguki Zuikazan, who is his mentor and was using Samihata for Kisame. And on the right side the picture there you see Killer Bee when Kisame fighted against Killer Bee. And after Kisame's dead, the next user of Samihata was Killer Bee. So there you see all the users: Fuguki, Zuikazan, Kisame Hoshigaki, and then Killer Bee. And then Killer Bee. So let's carry on. So let's talk about Akatsuki, because Kisame was working for Akatsuki in the whole story, you can say, because otherwise when we see his past, of course there he was working for Kiri, but then he was working for Akatsuki. And we see here in the upper pictures at the top the two pictures where we see Kisame, like we see him normal in his Akatsuki suit. At the very top we see him and Itachi coming to Konoha, and there we see also Kurenai and sometimes I forget names, and the master of Shikamaru, Choji and Ina. And then on the right side, the picture on the right side at the top, we see just Kisame and Itachi on the left side of the picture, and on the right side Kisame with his sword. And how they normally look like, with their dress with these long black robes with these red clouds on it, and with the band they have on their head, I don't know how to say it in English, but in front of it you see the sign of the village they come from. Where they come from. Itachi from Konoha and Kisame from Keigakure. And you see it's kind of, there's kind of a line, and this means they are nukenin. They are not longer belonging to their villages, That's what it means. And every Akatsuki member has a ring on their finger, and even on different fingers often. And Kisame has Nan, what means south. That's the ring. He has a ring, and this word just stands. It's written in the ring. You know, it's there's a sign, and this means the sign, and he has it on his left ring finger. And every Akatsuki member has a different color of their nails. The color of Kisame's nails is violet. His partner is Itachi Uchiha. On the contrary, in comparison with other teams, you know, in Akatsuki, Kisame sees and accepts Itachi as the more powerful and more skilled of the two. You know, we have this also when it's about Deidara and Sasori, where Deidara is saying Sasori is the stronger one. But for example, with Hidan and Kakuzu, even most people would say Kakuzu is the stronger one. They are not, you know, Hidan is not saying he sees himself as the stronger one, and Kakuzu sees himself as the stronger one. So they accept their strength, but they are, you know, who is the stronger one? They are not saying, you know, it's not clear. There's not a clear order in their partnership, like it is with Sasori and Deidara and Itachi and Kisame. And Itachi and Kisame really gets along very well. And that's also in contrary to Deidara and Sasori, who are sometimes a little bit in fighting, I have to say, because of their different views on what art is about. You know, for Sasori, his puppets, and for Deidara, explosions. And here we see a picture on the left side at the bottom where we see above the team on the left side Itachi, and on the right Kisame, and then at the bottom to them we see on the left side Sasori, and on the right side we see Deidara. After Itachi's death, Kisame is alone or with Obito Uchiha together on missions for Akatsuki. And we see here some fights on the right side in the middle on the right side, and at the bottom in the middle, and on the right side and on the right side at the bottom we see some fights where Kisame is fighting. One time Guy is more fighting by the picture on the right side. Guy is more fighting Kisame, and then in the middle we see a picture where Kisame is fighting Might Guy's whole team. Yeah, so just that to say to the pictures. Let's carry on. So now it's about the history and about the character. I did here something wrong with the colors, because the history is meant to be white, and about his character it's meant to be black. So just to see it like this, you know, to understand what why it's something written in white and something written in black, because the white one is about his history, and the black letters are written about his character. So let's talk about Kisame, and he's coming from Kirigakure. The genin test in Kirigakure was very brutal. Students had to kill each other for what had changed after Zabuza killed his whole class. Zabuza is another sword warrior. It's also one of the 7 from Kiri. And we see him on the top at the right side. There we see Zabuza, and on the left at the top we see Kisame. Yeah. And yeah, so it was very brutal, the genin test. You know, they have to kill each other. And, you know, it's changed after Zabuza killed his whole class, but Kisame is older than Zabuza is. So Kisame still, you know, had to do the brutal test. And yeah, just to say that, you know, Kisame is, even though Zabuza killed his whole class, Kisame is more known for his brutality and his strength than Zabuza is. Oh, it's really big noise right now, but I can nothing do about it. So yeah, you can say Kisame is stronger and more brutal than Zabuza is, and also more known for it. And Zabuza is even pretty much known for these two things. So Fuguki Zuikazan was the predecessor or precursor from Kisame, you can say, and his superior or his mentor, his trainer, his sensei maybe even too. And it was the former user of Samehada. Fuguki Zuikazan, just a person who mostly Kisame gets the orders from. So yeah, he's superior in Kiri. As Kisame killed Fuguki because Fuguki betrayed his village and Kisame. So yeah, Kisame killed Fuguki because Fuguki betrayed his village, and Kisame then took the sword of his mentor Samehada. Kisame became then one of the 7 shinobi sword fighters from Kirigakure. But just for not a long time. I wrote shinobi wrong. I see it here. But I can nothing do about it right now. So yeah, the 4th Mizukasa was controlled by Madara Uchiha, aka Obito Uchiha, by that time, who offered Kisame then a position in Akatsuki. When Kisame found out that, Obito shows himself after a while, controlling the 4th Mizukage. It's the head, the chief of Kiri, you can say, and he's controlled by Obito Uchiha, and Obito shows himself to Kisame and offered him a position in Akatsuki, a job, so to say. Also, he told him his Mugen Tsuki no Me plan. Kisame accepted the offer and became a member of Akatsuki until he died through suicide. I will talk a little bit about some stuff here again later on, but now let's talk about his character. So this all shows that he's very loyal to what he feels loyal to, what the organization is he's working for. He had a tendency to brutal force. Contrary to that, he talks very polite and formal. He is known as the monster of Kirigakure. That's his nickname. And he's very loyal. He stays true to his line, fulfilled his missions very conscientious and carefully. In this kind of sense, he's a perfect shinobi. He stays true to his line. He has a lot of devotion, loyalty to his missions and organizations he's allied with, and to the organizations he's allied with. And he follows the code of warrior honor. It's the moral. It's his moral end code. So you can say his moral code for it's a moral code for him. Yeah, it's a moral code for him. So let's talk a little bit about his past to, otherwise you have just the words and the character description, that is, for example, his code or his moral code, the warrior honor. What does it really mean to stay true to, your organization, or what does it mean in his case? So Kisame is the perfect, you can say, the perfect killer, the perfect mission fulfiller. The mission has, like it used to be, it should be for ninja. The mission has the highest priority. And we see it when he works for Kiri, we know about Kiri's test and how brutal they were to the shinobis and what they had to do to become shinobis and to become good shinobis especially. And Kisame fulfilled all that, and he's kind of, for example, there's one. It's very when we talk about his character, we have to talk about his past also. And for example, there was one time, and we see it in the series. I think shortly before Kisame died in the series. Equal if you look from the anime or the manga, where we see kind of his past. And for example, he was there. We see, for example, a group of ninjas, and Kisame has to look for them, has to protect them because they had informations who were very important. And he was, a ninja from Kirigakure who, should protect the information they have for other clans and ninjas who wants to have these information they have. So he protected this group, and then he sees after a while he cannot protect them anymore. But so he knows what he has to do, because the goal was that the enemy doesn't get the information. So he had to kill the group he should protect to make sure that the enemies doesn't get the information. So sorry for the noise. I hope that's okay. I cannot do something about it right now. Yeah. So yeah, he did it immediately, and then he left. And that's what you have to do to fulfill the mission. And then he sees Fuguki, his mentor, his superior in Kiri, kind of betraying Kirigakure. So he killed Fuguki because he betrayed the village. And you see it after all that, he's sometimes asking himself, okay, what's the goal? There's so much, I have this mission, and then this mission gets betrayed, and then I have to do this and even kill, for example, my own mentor, my own superior, because, and he did it without any doubt, because this is like, there's the orders. If, he betrays the village, he had to kill them. He did it without any hesitation. But as a shinobi, as a person, he's sometimes, even though he's this emotionless killer and mission fulfiller, he at one point he's asking himself, okay, where should this go? What's the reason? Why am I doing this? What's the goal, the end goal, or what's the sense of all that, And then he sees, okay, the Mizukurage is controlled by these different person, and and then he's like, and it's I think there is at the point, okay, what's even the sense? I'm loyal to Kiri, but for what? What even is Kiri? It's controlled by other people, and there is so much. What? Okay, I'm loyal to my village. What means it? What means it? What means it to whom? There are so much things and so much betrayal and so much wars who have no fucking sense in a way. And you don't, as a shinobi, you don't have to question these things. You just have to fulfill what your mission is, But even what is my mission, like to whom I have to be 100% loyal to and stuff like that. And then Obito came as Madara Uchiha with his Tsuki no Me plan, where he wants to, the Akatsukis try to get the bijous, so they have to kill the Jinchuriki and extract the bijous to get the power, and they want to use the power, Obito and Madara, for the Tsukinome plan, where they want to make a big genjutsu using the moon and the powers of the bijous to make these big genjutsu, so this big illusion world where everybody in the world is in, and there is no war, and it's the perfect world, the perfect illusion, if you want to say so. And Kisame, many years there's that's a plan, that's a plan, that makes sense, after all these senseless conflicts and senseless missions, even who feels senseless in a way after a while, he sees their sense. He sees their kind of sense, that to end all these senseless bullshit where they are living in, and so he becomes a member of Akatsuki and is loyal to them. And I told you even before that about this story where he had to protect the ninjas and then killed them because the enemy shouldn't get the information. And it's not like he's just cruel without any reasoning, so it was just to fulfill this mission, and he's very true to this line, because even when he get captured in the end of his story, you can say, and Konoha wants to get information, or some ninjas, most likely Konoha ninjas, tries to get information from Kisame, and Kisame couldn't do anything, and they used jutsus to get in his head and stuff like this. He even bites at his tongue, maybe even bites off his tongue. I'm not sure about it, just that the pain stopped them from going in his head with their jutsus. And the Yamanaka clan, especially, I think it was Ino's father, who tries to get in Kisame's head and finds out more and more information. And then he writes something down in a roll of paper, and he gets this roll of paper with a jutsu to Akatsuki, and then he escapes for a moment, uses his jutsu to kind of get away enough way from the other ninjas that he can kill himself. So he did suicide, that the other ninjas cannot get any information from him about Akatsuki, about the organization he's loyal with. So the same stuff kind of that he did with the people he should protect it when he was younger, he did also through himself, so he's not just brutal person who kills without any sense. He is brutal, but also to himself. He's like, the mission has the most priority. The mission has the highest priority. You can see it when you see his life. And at the bottom on the right side we see Obito Uchiha, also called himself Tobi. So there you see also through his life, you see what I mean when I speak about his character and say that he's true to his line, and his priority is to fulfill the missions he gets from the organization he's loyal with, so to say. And that's it. So especially thanks to the fan website Narutopedia, I watched the series and stuff like that and was really into Naruto, but you have to read again some stuff and think about it, and that's it. Narutopedia, it's just a good site. Fan wikis are always good sites where you can read something or reread something or read something about a series or manga, in this case anime series, what you to refresh your memories and even find out new things. So yeah, thanks to this site. And here are some pictures. At the top on the right side we see Kisame with his water-shaped shark Suiton Jutsu, and under this picture it's the same, just a little bit different. You see these high shark water jutsu sharks, and then when you go when you stay at the top and go to the left side, you see Kisame, and kind of action figure how he looks like normally, with his sword Samihada, water style jutsu, making the sign for it to maybe use some jutsus. I mean, most of this jutsus are water jutsus, Suiton, but he even, I think even in the manga and the anime we see, for example, a Doton jutsu from him, where he goes into the earth and uses sword as kind of, it has also these, you get these shark vibes, where his sword is like just sticks out of the ground, and it's like, in some movies when you have a kind of a shark and you see kind of a little bit of, I don't know, it's called floss in English. I don't know the word right now, but you see just this part of the shark and it comes nearer to you. It's a little bit like it with these Doton jutsus, but mostly, of course, he uses Suiton jutsus, water jutsus, instead of earth, and mostly water jutsus who are shark shaped, as I said a million times before, I think, in this video. And then on the left side we see again Kisame with a Sakatsuki uniform, but we see there's the upper part, and I don't know if it's water or chakra or kind of both. What we see here looks more like water. Maybe with the chakra he bent some water, I don't know. Then on the left side from this picture we see Kisame with a normal sword. I think it's one of Killer Bee's swords he had there, and you see him, it's pretty interesting, different skin partly, and it's because it was after the fight, or in the fight with Killer Bee, and Killer Bee just gets him one time and it was all open, his body was open here, and through the chakra he gets from Samihada, his skin kind of rebuilt itself, and it's different colored there. And then on the left side from this picture we see some water jutsu, some water shark shaped jutsu, or some water Suiton jutsu where shark shaped water attack jutsu, I don't know how to say it, attack someone. I think it was also in a fight against Might Guy with his group in the beginning of Naruto Shippuden. There were three times he fought Might Guy. I think 3 times, 3 or 4. I think 3 times. One in Naruto, and one in the beginning of Naruto Shippuden, and then in the middle or nearer to the end of Naruto Shippuden. And then at the bottom on the very right side we see Kisame again, where he in this time there's he also used water jutsu, as you can see, and is inside one of his water sharks and tries to get away from these ninjas, I think from Konoha most likely. Now there's Killer Bee and Might Guy and stuff, and it's near to the end of his life. They lost against Might Guy, and he just tries to flee there. Yeah. And then on the left side, from this picture, you see a picture we saw again in the we see again, because in the beginning we saw it already, but here it's a little bit bigger, where you see Kisame in the foreground, how he looks normal, 2 pictures, and then on the back, in the background we see water, and in the background we see his water sharks, where he's often attacking with, and above all that we see how Kisame looks like when he fusionates with his sword Samihada. And on the left side to this picture we see again Kisame, how he looks like when he fusionates with his sword Samihada. And on the left side to this we see Kisame again when he fights against Might Guy and his team. And there, you know, just the most water jutsu users, Zuiton jutsu users have problems when there is no water, but Kisame not, because he's so strong. He can even create water, like he did there, where he just, you know, uses his chakra, and out of his mouth there comes a lot of water. It's a jutsu, and this water he can use then for his Zuiton based jutsu attacks. And it's also a higher variant what he uses, for example, also when he fusionates with his sword Samihada, where he creates a very, you know, much based, you know, kind of water bowl, and he's the center of this water bowl, and it's very big, you know, it's not just a little water bowl, it's like a very big one, where even the enemy, most likely, if he's nearby, is in the water. And, you know, this gives him a huge advantage, because he can breathe underwater and detect him and attack him and absorb chakra. And the most other ninjas, maybe even every other ninja, cannot breathe underwater normally. So this gives Kisame a huge advantage, of course. This is jutsu he can very good use with in his fusionated form with Samihada. And again, he's always the center of this jutsu. So if he moves the water, the massive water pool, runs with it. And yeah, then on the left, at the bottom, on the left side, you know, the last picture, we see 3 times Kisame, where he is about to use his sword or a jutsu, you know. And then there are some smaller pictures where you see just Kisame's face there. And yeah, that's it. That are all the pictures here. At the bottom, at the top, you know, where we see his sword, you know, and his shark-shaped water jutsus. It's a very strong character, you know. And it's pretty cool, because even on the very left picture at the bottom, you know, he can even create, you know, like the shadow clone jutsu. He can use kind of this stuff, but, you know, because he's a water style user, he uses then water clones, and they can do jutsus as well, and make water prisons, or use, you know, some attacks, water attacks, water sharks also. This is kind of cool. In this way he can kind of, you know, create these clones, and they can use stuff, even though it weakens him a little bit more then, because he is more kind of split his powers in this way. But, you know, there are a lot of opportunities there for him, so it's pretty interesting too. And, you know, if the clones are not there anymore, you know, he's again in charge of all the power, or if he doesn't want them anymore, and he just let this jutsu go. So yeah, they're pretty interesting stuff he can do with his jutsus. Also, there's one jutsu, one of the strongest, where he also used a big water shark to attack his enemy. And it's pretty interesting because, it's one of the strongest attacks, and if an enemy uses a ninjutsu against it, it just eats off the ninjutsu, and becomes stronger, absorbs the ninjutsu, and his attacks become stronger, and then attacks the enemy. So yeah, he's just very strong in taijutsu and ninjutsu, not so strong in genjutsu, but therefore he has a partner who is strong in taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu. And most likely in fights in Naruto, when you have strong fights, it's often about the ninjutsus, and there is very, very strong. He's probably with Orochimaru the strongest character in the whole series who is not using, kind of Bijou chakra jutsus, some visual based jutsus like Byakugan, Sharingan, Rinnegan, or some, how is it called in English? I have to think about it. Senin chakra, natural chakra, or how, I don't know how really is it called. Senin modo chakra, natural chakra stuff, because not everybody is able to use one of these things, and that are stuff, that really makes the difference often. And as a normal ninja, I think Kisame and Orochimaru are very coming to the stuff what you can achieve if you have those special things, even though they have their own special things in a way, but differently. And I hope that's enough for Kisame. He's this true, loyal, mission fulfiller kind of guy whose priorities are to fulfill his work, you can say. And that's it for now. Again, you see all the presentations after right now, without my face, and just a presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. And see you guys. See you. Ciao. No. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed to watch the video. Bye bye.